I'm wrestling, not weak for me. Celebrate what I am. Celebrate what I have been. Celebrate what I represent. And celebrate the many ways I have impacted your life. I will survive this test as I have survived others. I am forever etched into the very fiber of all mankind. The world needs me. Time is on my side. History guarantees me. I am wrestling. Do not wait for me.
What's up, everybody? This is episode 16 of the T-Row and Funky Show. I'm your host, Ben Askren. Joined, as always, by two-time NCAA champion Tommy Rowlands. I just used my Defense soap after my jiu-jitsu workout. And Defense soap sponsors, as always. Defense soap, defend what you have built. Tommy, it's March, which means it's probably the best time of the year. Are you excited or what?
I am thoroughly excited. It's March 1st tonight. We're recording. The warm weather is coming. The cold weather is going. And usually that means it's postseason time. I don't know. In Wisconsin, it still might be a little cold. But
well, I'll tell you what. We had the first nice day for the state finals in forever. You know, usually there's this, say, 4-hour break between the placement session and then the final session at night. And, man, the last 4 years prior to this year were just freaking miserable. Windy, snowy, cold as shit. This year it's 55 degrees out. We were walking around in T-shirts. It was beautiful. Just a great day for the state finals.
It's awesome. Hey, real quick, not to do any shameless self-promotion, but why don't you tell me how the Askren Wrestling Academy ended up at the state tournament? How'd some of your guys do?
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about the state tournament. I had it on my list. And you know, Tommy, I know you actually posted something about, I don't remember your exact words, but you said something like, I've been on bigger stages, but this is still like one of my first loves or something.
I right? Basically said something to the tune, good luck to all the Ohio kids out there. And I've been around, seen a lot of things in the sport, and basically what I meant to say, what I said, I'm paraphrasing, is it's possible that my first state title is my greatest wrestling memory.
Yeah.
It's definitely top three.
Yeah, and I would say top three is the exact same words I would use, Tommy.
Right.
I mean, word for word.
I think it's that first taste, Ben. I don't want to take the wind out of your sails. I'll let you roll with it, but you get that first taste of really working for something as a young man. You know, winning the Tulsa Nationals or whatever. It's like, come on. You know, but when you're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, you know, you're becoming a young man. You get that taste of doing something that really was significant in your life, basically. And that's why it's very special to me.
Yeah, and I feel the exact same way. You know, I won a state. I took second as a freshman, won a state title as a sophomore. One of my best memories still to this day. And you know, when we go back, you know, I'm 31 now. I think you got a couple of years on me. But when we go back and watch these, I think that, you know, there's that nostalgia, and we remember what it felt like. And like you said, these kids are experiencing something they put their life into. A lot of these kids, I mean, it's year round. They're working hard for it. They love it. And, you know, there's nothing better in life than having a passion. And I just watched the third episode of Keepers of the Flame. We talked about this last time. It's freaking awesome. But Jay was talking about in the end.
White light.
The white light. I'd never heard that terminology before, but he's so right. I mean, I remember, you know, my senior year in college probably was the best time where my team was number one and I was number one and my brother was number one. And it was just like this insane confluence of events that just everything was perfect. Everything was great. There was no worries. I mean, it was just fantastic. And then, you know, like you said, once you feel that, you could spend your whole life trying to get back to it because it's just that intense pleasure. And, you know, I feel that way about my first state title. And I think you said you did.
No doubt, man. I mean, it took me a little longer to hang up a title than you, Ben. I qualified my freshman year. I got third my sophomore year. I could have won. I don't know if you could say I should have won, but I definitely could have won. In my mind, I should have won. And then my junior year, I had the defending state champion who was undefeated in the finals, and I pinned him.
Who?
And he was a D3 guy. His name's Dick Angle. I don't think he really ever did much in the collegiate level, but he was a undefeated defending state champion at that weight class, and I had to go up because I couldn't make 71. And you know, it's not something that's legendary in the state. You know, how to who I beat in the state. It's not some epic matchup, but to me, it was just that first feeling of like, wow, you kind of look at yourself and you're like, I really did that, like
Yep.
I did that, and to the point that Jay Robinson makes with Keepers of the Flame, you see that white light. It's that indescribable, incredible sensation that you have, and it might last all of 10 or 30 or 40 seconds, and you do anything to get back to it, and you chase it the rest of your life, and I think that to your point, I think the state high school wrestling tournament, basically in any state, is very, very nostalgic. It's so cool to watch. It's so cool to be a part of, and I love this time of year. I mean, that's kind of like you wrap it all up into one. Wrap wrestling all up into one little ball. The state wrestling high school events might be more of a inclusion of everything that's great about wrestling than the NCAAs or the Olympics.
Yeah, in Wisconsin, they sold out. Set the record. I think it was 13,995 or something crazy. So it's packed. They take it seriously up here in Wisconsin, and man, a lot of great matches. We had 6 champs, so that was our best ever. We're only 4 years old.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we had two was our most before that, so 6 was really nice. We had 11 in the finals. A lot of fun.
There's 3 divisions, right, Ben?
There's 3 divisions, and in Wisconsin.
So that's 84 finalists.
Sure.
And you had 11 of them. I got the calculator out. You had 13. You had 13% of the state finalists this year in the state of Wisconsin in year 4.
Boom. Okay.
It's awesome, man.
So, in Wisconsin, Division I's the biggest. 2 and 3. There's not a huge separation. I would say Division I's a little better, but Division 2 and 3 they're both pretty tough. And in Missouri, it's way different. The biggest division, which is the Class 4. Is night and day different than Class 1, which is the smallest. And I don't know how your state is in Ohio, as far as balance between the divisions. But Wisconsin, it's pretty solid. There's good kids in every division. Division 1's probably the deepest, but, they're tough everywhere.
Yeah, Ohio's got 3 divisions. I think they could afford to have 2. I think if Ohio had 2 divisions, every single state champion would be a bona fide Big Ten wrestler. I came from the small school division. So did Logan Stieber. So did Jay Jaggers. So did Harry Lester. So did I'm missing some great ones there, but so just like anything in wrestling, it doesn't really matter how good your team is. But D3, by and large, you got some holes in D3 that you every now and again you pop a state champ out there that's like he might not even be able to wrestle in D1 in college, but it's a great event. Ohio State High School Wrestling Tournament's great. I think they get to 16, 17,000, 18,000 people for the semifinals.
Nice.
The finals, so it's a good event. I love it. I'm going to miss it this year. I got to go to a trade show in Florida. Man, I'm bummed.
Well, I want to talk about one match in particular from the WSD tournament. There's so many great ones.
Okay.
But this match that happened in the semifinals, and it's very interesting because what we had was a female named Macy Kilty, who was a freshman, versus a young man named Zach Anglin, who was born without the full extremities. So
I saw this. I saw a picture of this on the internet.
And it's not like this. Hey, this is a small class. They can't wrestle. These two, they're a real deal. I mean, they're not bad. But the cool thing about it was, and I wish wrestling fans could do this for every match, but everybody picked a side, right? It was like there was a personal interest in that person, either because she was a female or because. I don't even want to say he's disabled because he's not. Zach Anglin's a freaking beast any way you slice it, right? So disabled's not the right term, whatever you want to call it. But because of their stories and their history, Wisconsin fans were, my God, this match was so loud. We actually had a kid in a semi on the other mat, and I remember he said to one of his friends, that was so distracting, I couldn't even hear myself think because everyone was so loud about that match.
Wow.
But
so whose side were you taking, man? Or did you not have a
cheer, and I said,
fight?
let's go. This is, I know both of them not real well, but just kind of in passing.
Right.
I wanted it to be a great match, and it was a great. It went to triple overtime. It was a great match, but I wish wrestling fans could buy into every match, and buy into the personal stories, because when you're talking about 14,000 people, there was only a small fraction of that actually had a relationship with either of these two athletes. Right, and the rest of them had just read about them in the paper or seen them in a tournament or something, and they said, wow, I like that person's story. I'm going to cheer for them.
But what's cool about this story, and it speaks to maybe what we could or should do better in wrestling, but you don't even need a story. It's a female and somebody who, is paraplegic's not the word, but you know what I mean. He's disabled. He's got appendages that aren't fully
you
formed.
See the way he does these moves. It's like, obviously you've never seen anyone do anything like it, right? But it's like the way he gets this leverage, and I'm a wrestling geek, and so I'm into this kind of stuff. But the way he gets leverage and just snatches these people up with like his, the top of his arm is just, you got to watch. You just got to go see it and watch it. It's astounding.
Great story. So who won?
So Mace Kilty wins in triple overtime. She got a stalling call to put into overtime, and then she rode him out and won. And then
crowd was going bananas.
Oh my God, they were going wild. And then she made the finals, went up 5-0 in the first period, and was looking like she was going to be the first female to ever win the state title. And the other guy got on top and got 6 turn points in the second period, and I think he ended up winning 9-6. So
wow.
That was kind of the story of the tournament. It was awesome. I'm gonna include a link sometime tomorrow. I'll put a link up of the match because like I said, it was.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
It was awesome. Yeah. So that was it. We had a great weekend, man. That was probably the highlight match, but there was a lot of awesome wrestling.
And so, out of the 6 kids you had that won a state title, how many of them was it their first?
4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So what was that? What's it like watching a kid that you've watched him pay his dues, year round high school? Was it pretty cool seeing those 4 guys hang up their first title?
Yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, like you said, a lot of these kids, and honestly, with a lot of our kids in our academy, the really cool thing right now, and it's not going to be, it'll never be the same going forward, but a lot of the kids that joined our academy to start out with, so the kids who started with us as 7th and 8th graders are now getting to be juniors and seniors, right?
Right.
And essentially, we got all the kids who weren't quite as good as the other kids, because anyone who was already winning state titles or placing, they stayed with the clubs they were with already. Right.
So you're starting to get a full calendar, so to speak, of the maturation of a high school wrestler.
Yeah, and so with these kids that are starting to win right now, the kid Jake Roshka, who won a state title, he never won a kid state title ever.
Right.
And so, and we had another kid named Nathan Smith. He took second this year, but he won last year. He never even placed at Kid State. So it's pretty cool seeing some of these guys, and like you're saying, like once you accomplish something, you're like, wow, I can do it, And some of these kids who never had that success as a kid, and then they're just getting over the hump and getting it as a high school kid and realizing, wow, if I put the time in, I could do pretty great things.
That's awesome. I'm pumped up. Can't wait for more state tournament stories.
Yeah, me too. So let's get into, we had some positive, we had some good, warm, fuzzy stuff in there. Now let's get into the negatives, Tom. I got a negative here. I had a second thing.
All right, okay. I'm ready.
So Burroughs was on last week, and he was telling us about the Pan Ams, and I'm like, okay, this is sweet. I'm going to check it out, right? And I can watch it on my phone. Thanks, Flo. But so then I start looking, and I realize there's Pan Ams 2 weekends in a row, and I'm like, what? This is weird. Like, why are there 2 Pan Ams? And so one is a Pan Am Championship, which just happened, and then this coming weekend is a Pan Am qualifier. And I was thinking,
I have to admit, I thought that this weekend was the big weekend.
Yeah.
And I saw that Coleman Scott wasn't even at 121, and it caused me to, or 120, whatever it is, the weight class, the Olympic weight.
1.5.
And it caused me to do some research. I'm like, God, this isn't even the event.
Yeah.
So to your point, it's next week. So keep beefing. Think
about this, Tommy. Think about if they did the Big Ten 2 weekends in a row, and one time was the Big Ten championship, and the next weekend had the exact same teams and was the Big Ten qualifier. Like, what's the freaking point?
Yeah,
like,
it's.
I don't even understand. I don't know what to say. Like, I would love for someone to explain to me what the point is. Like, why aren't they one and the same?
Yeah, it blows my mind. And I don't think that there's really a good reason for it. There's a reason, I'm sure, but I don't know if it's a good one. Hey, speaking of this, not to get too far off topic, but I called Rich Bender, the executive director of USA Wrestling, 3 days ago.
He's a Wisconsin guy, just FYI.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Anyways, I talked to Rich. He's a good friend. I actually like Rich a lot, and he's gonna come on after NCAA's and before the World Cup in June, and we're gonna really go deep with Rich Bender.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. I like the sound of that.
We got to remember to ask him this question because it's a good one. Why do you have back-to-back events? They're called the same thing basically.
Yeah, and I mean, what I think essentially is that one takes away from the other. Like, I looked at last weekend, and I'm like, well, this isn't the one that qualifies them. Like, no one's sending their best guys. Kind of, who gives a crap, almost.
Yeah, I'll tell you one other thing that it's not as bad, but it's similar, is in 2007, I wrestled in the Pan Am, in May of 2007, I wrestled in the Pan Am Championships. And in July of 2007, I wrestled in the Pan Am Games.
I'm confused.
Yeah, because the Pan Am Games is every 4 years, the year before the Olympics. And they had a Pan Am Championship that same year. So I wrestled in the Pan Am Championships in May.
Why didn't they just make the Pan Am Championships at the Pan Am Games?
I don't know. It'd be like having the Worlds the same year as the Olympics. They don't do that. Right?
They don't do it. Well, in women's they had done it because the weight classes were different. Because they took out all of them.
Do you think that they'll do that with our 2 world championship weights that aren't in the Olympics?
Probably
not.
Probably not, huh? So, anyways, UW, whatever your damn name is, get it together. Pan Am Championship, Pan quality. So I didn't even watch last weekend, but I'm gonna try to watch this weekend because this weekend is apparently the one.
Well, this one. This one is actually for all the marbles.
This one matters.
Yeah, it does. It's got a lot of implications.
Yep. Okay, so let's go. NCAA, we're kind of jumping all over the place. We got a bunch of stuff to hit today. Before we didn't even mention, we got Alex Dieringer coming on in just a little bit here. And he is also a Wisconsinite, Tommy, so we're going to team up.
Oh, my gosh. Why don't we have some Ohio boys on here soon?
We had Rovat, and was there anyone else?
We got to get Jaggers on here. He'd be a great guest. Serious.
Best dressed man in wrestling.
That's right.
Okay, so NCAA allocations came out, what was it? Is it yesterday or today? I can't remember now.
It was 2 days ago, I believe.
2 days ago. Okay, cool. So, here's what we're looking at. The Big Ten is way down. Way down. And, a lot of people are saying, well, last year there weren't the Big 12 didn't get any automatic qualifiers because they weren't officially a conference, but they accounted for that. And so last year, only 260 qualifiers were given, and this year, 284 automatic qualifiers were given. That being said, if you deduct out last year's Western Wrestling Conference, which is now co-opt with the Big 12, there was 19 out. So without them, 241 were given. This year, without the Big 12 and Western Wrestling, which are, like I said, co-opt, there's 248. So the Big 10 last year, out of the 241, got 86. This year, out of the 248, they only get 71. And that's a huge, that's a wrestler and a half per weight drop. That's huge.
It's a huge drop, but Ben, and I'm a Big Ten, I love the Big Ten, but honestly, this is good for wrestling.
Why is that?
Well, it's more parity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did look at the Big Ten. We're going to do Big Ten pick'ems here in a second.
If we're having a conference pride conversation, I got to say I'm disappointed. But if we're talking about what's good for wrestling, this is great, right?
No, definitely. And I looked at the Big Ten, the pre-seeds, and I was like, dang, some of these weight classes they're not Big Ten tough. They really aren't. So yeah, I see where it's coming from.
I don't know about that. I just think that there's more Big Ten teams.
I'll throw people under the bus. They weren't that damn tough.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go.
Well, we're not to that part yet. We're going to do our pick'ems in just a second. Big winners. The big winners. ACC went up by quite a few, and the MAC went up by quite a few. So I think those were the biggest winners.
Well, yeah, you've got these conferences that are getting redrawn. We have new programs that are coming into the fold. ACC with NC State. It's good, man. I like the fact that the Big Ten is not quite as dominant. They're still clearly the best conference in college wrestling, but it's not so lopsided that you can't have a conversation about how well these other conferences are doing.
Well, and it's really not that lopsided when we think of So the ACC, which only has 6 teams, is at 34, right? Which is just under half of 71. And the Big Ten has 14. So when you're thinking per team, per wrestler, ACC's close. And then the MAC is at 41, which has 9 teams. And, Big Ten has 14. So, you're not, in a couple of those conferences, you're not that far off wrestler against qualifier ratio.
Right.
So they are catching up.
Yeah, Big Ten's adding a lot of schools, bringing down their percentages. They're still taking the same amount of numbers. They're still taking the same numbers. You can't just throw Maryland in the Big Ten conference and expect them to be as good as the Big Ten schools that have been in the conference for 30 years and iron sharpened iron.
Well, Rutgers is holding up their end of the bargain.
Now they are.
Nebraska is too. And Nebraska is. So, it's some of your Big Ten stalwarts that are your Michigan States. Northwestern's having a terrible year. Wisconsin doesn't have a ton of automatic qualifiers. Purdue doesn't have a ton of automatic qualifiers. So, Indiana doesn't have a ton. So, that's some of your long-time Big Ten schools that are struggling to put up the conferences.
Is we should take here's what we should do. After the Nationals, we'll take percentage of All-Americans compared to automatic qualifiers.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. We used to do this with the Big 12, and there was a streak there in the mid-2000s, probably right after you graduated, where the Big 12 per wrestler, and you're going to hate this, was so much tougher than the Big 10s. Per wrestler. Silence.
I just hate the whole per athlete.
Well, that's
stuff.
what it was.
Big
5
Ten
teams.
is the toughest damn conference in America. It's a guarantee.
Not in the mid-2000s. And think
It's
about
been
what
the toughest
percentage.
conference in America for forever.
Take it back. It was not.
When you're talking about per athlete, that doesn't signify.
You only got
toughest
50
conference in America.
wrestlers. You had Missouri, Nebraska, Oklahoma State, and Iowa State. Every team was good.
They were good. They were good, and those 4 teams weren't as good as the Big Ten.
No, it's 5 teams. But B, you had some of those stragglers in the Big Ten that were like free wins. Dude, some of these weight classes, there was one year, Aaron Holker was the returning national champ. He took 5th out of 5. There was just
I've got
matches.
so many of those goofy stories, dude. It make you sick.
Okay, look at the Olympians. Look at the Olympians from 2008 and 2012. They come primarily from the Big 12. Why? Because the Big 12 was the toughest.
Burroughs came from the Big 10.
Big 12. He wrestled the Big 12. Damn it. Sam Hazelwinkle, Big 12. Coleman Scott, Big 12. Jared Frayer, Big 12. Jordan Burroughs, Big 12. Jake Varner, Big 12. That's on the 2012 team. Obviously, Terrell was a D2, so you had
trained at a Big 10 school.
Stop. 5-1 there. And then in 08, you had me, Cormier. Who was 21? Oh, so who didn't wrestle? Mako was Oklahoma State.
Well,
you
had 3 and 3. You got Zadok, Schwab.
So you had 3 and 3.
Mako's a hybrid.
No, he's Oklahoma State at that time.
He's Iowa, bro.
No, he was. Only freshman, sophomore year, and then he was Oklahoma
trained
State.
By Brands.
Oh, my gosh.
By the way, I'm talking about a guy that beat me off the team, so let's get off the subject. All right.
Damn it, Mako. All right, let's go. This is fun. I just put this article up today. I'll tweet it out tomorrow when this comes out. We got 7 minutes.
Great article.
We're not going to get our freaking pick'ems in. We're going to stay on after Alex comes on to do our pick'ems.
Okay.
So I did this article starting 3 years ago. I updated it last year. I just updated it again today. It's about team peaking. Which teams peak the best? Some people say peaking doesn't exist. I think that's bullcrap. I think it does exist. Individually, there's some people who wrestle better in March. Jay Jaggers being one. And team-wise, I think there's some teams that train to have their wrestlers wrestle the best in March. And I think there's a lot of reasons. So I kind of want to get into this. And maybe who knows, maybe Alex Cullen will bring him into this also because he might have a good philosophy. And actually, Oklahoma State, the last 3 years, has wrestled above their seeds at NCAAs. And so the way I did this chart, when you go look at it, Tommy, have you looked at the information yet?
Oh, yeah. It's a great article.
So when you look at it, what I did was I took what their seed is, what their placement was. You get a negative or a positive. You add them all up. You divide by the amount of qualifiers they had, and that's your number, right?
Right.
So it's not perfect. And the thing about it is it's very, very, very hard to be positive because when you're and I listed 6 good teams. When you're one of the better teams, you typically have high ranked guys. Well, if you're number 1, you can't wrestle above a number 1.
Right.
So if you do wrestle to your seed, you're just counted as a 0. So you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If Ed Ruth and David Taylor wrestle to their 1s, which they did multiple times, they don't get a plus. They just get an even. So
right. So the better season you have, the more difficult it is to have a positive number.
Yeah. So, but anyone. So you're looking at these numbers. So no team except Minnesota wrestled above their seed more often than they wrestled below their seed. So it's definitely very difficult. And then when you look, the highest positive number we had was, I believe, a 1.6. But that was Cornell in 2012. And the biggest negative we had was a 4.2 by Iowa in 2009. So it's a lot easier to go negative. We had a -3 by Minnesota one year.
It's a lot easier to go negative of the teams that you were keeping track on.
Correct, because when you got the one year I made the point that the Dardanes, it was in 2014 when Minnesota just lost by a little bit. They wrestled essentially to their seeds at 0.3, but the thing was every guy on their team finished above their seed, except the Dardanes brothers went from a 6 and a 2 to DNP finishes, which just freaking
crushed them.
I mean, if either of those guys, if either one of those guys, not even both, one of them wrestles to their seeds, they win the Nationals that year. So what you're looking at here is, if a team is in contention and they wrestle to their seeds, they're probably going to win it.
Yeah,
this doesn't happen a lot. So one of the things here that the obvious is that Iowa is the worst by a long shot, and people say I hate Iowa, but you know what I think this points to, Tommy?
What does it point to?
Matt, I thought we were 2 minds in one by now.
I know what it points to.
I think it points to people giving them too much credit early in the year. I think that's what it points to.
I think it points to a number of things. Some, which I'm sure we'll touch on, could be perceived as fairly incriminating. We'll talk about it. Maybe some reasons why this happens, and then some is just they're always ranked high. They're always in the greatest position to not wrestle to their seed.
Yeah.
And I will say that
maybe unfairly so. And Iowa loves saying Iowa versus the world, but I don't know about you, but I think a lot of these media publications might give Iowa too much credit.
They do. I think they do. I think that they're trained. It's newsworthy. It's Iowa wrestling is newsworthy. No one can deny that.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about Iowa wrestling, good, bad, indifferent, it's a positive thing. It's something people want to talk about. And yeah, I think that these numbers are interesting, man. And I think if I were to talk about the incriminating things, I think that Iowa builds up a great ranking. A lot of these Iowa guys build up great rankings because their conditioning level is so superior.
Do you know what's funny about that, Tommy? That I showed my brother this. I think it was last year. And that was what he brought up from a team perspective,
from a team,
and from an individual. He brought up individuals also, non-Hawkeye individuals.
It's. I don't think it's anything that Iowa does wrong. It's just that they have this. They're so sharp in the beginning of the year, physically and mentally, whereas other teams aren't.
Well, I'll tell you what is wrong about it.
They don't. Here's the thing. Let me just finish though.
Go ahead.
I don't think they lose their edge at the end of the year. I think other teams finally get their edge.
Ooh, and here's the point Max made, and it was good because he like I said, he made it with the Hawkeyes as a team, and he made it with other individuals. Is when you have that shape, right, and you're winning matches because it's shape. Well, we all know in March everybody's coming in shape. I mean, except maybe Eric Grajales, but everybody else. Right?
What made you think of that?
I don't know. I just had this vision in my head of him like sitting there tired on the edge of the mat. I don't know. He's not in my notes anymore. That just came to my mind right away.
Oh my God.
Okay, but pretty much everybody right comes to shape in March. Well, he said, when you become so reliant on winning matches because of shape, and you don't make the effort to win matches other ways, right? It could be technically, it could be strength, it could be strategy. But there's a lot of ways to win a wrestling match. And when you're so reliant on your conditioning to win wrestling matches for you, and then all of a sudden that advantage is pulled from you, well, how are you going to win matches?
Or it's just less impactful. It's less of a determining factor in winning or losing.
So I think that's a very very valid argument, though, is some of these people become too reliant on conditioning to win them wrestling matches, and you got to understand, in March you're not going to win wrestling matches because of shape. I mean, it might give you a slight advantage, but it's not going to be like someone's going to fall over like they would in, like Chance Marsteller in November.
Correct. And so I think that, there's so many factors. It's very interesting. I'm very impressed that you came up with this. It brings up a lot of discussion.
Yeah. And the other thing is, and I think this could be, Minnesota actually, they did the best as far as years above the seed, even though Penn State is the best overall. One thing, and this is why maybe Minnesota has a couple wild swings. I mean, they have one of the biggest lows, and they've got a couple of the best positives, right?
Right.
Is when you wrestle close matches, you're bound to lose some, right? And maybe one year, like you get, a bunch of coin flips in double overtime go the wrong way, and you lose 4 of those matches. And then the next year, a bunch of those coin flips go the right way, and you win a bunch of those matches.
Well, yeah, because if you're wrestling, if you're the number 1 seed and you're wrestling close matches against the number 11 seed, that's not good for you. But if you're a Minnesota guy and you're the number 11 seed and you got the number 1 guy and you have a style to keep it close, if that's what you're getting to, it could work in your favor.
Definitely. So I think that's something interesting to think about.
I think one of the reasons maybe Penn State's the highest is. Could it be that their style of wrestling is less?
We got Alex calling in. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Alex, what's up, man?
How's it going?
Good. You got me and Tommy, and we're live right away.
Okay.
What's going on, Alex?
Not much.
Thanks for coming on the show, brother.
So,
no problem.
Tommy and I are actually having a discussion. I'm putting this article up tomorrow. I wrote this article 3 years ago. I updated it last year. I just updated it again. It's about which teams peaked the best in March. And I don't know if you've seen it before or not, but Oklahoma State's actually done really well the last 3 years, which obviously you've been a member of that team the last 3 years. So, what is it? And actually, I think last year, 2015, you guys scored like the 4th highest of everyone I have on the board. What is it about that Coach John Smith has done the last few years that's made you guys perform so well in March? Or maybe you just have opinions on what makes people perform well in March in general. I'd love to hear it.
Well, I think because we go so hard in the beginning of the year, and they say tapering off, but we just shorten our practice length. We still go really, really hard, but we start letting our bodies get fresher. And I think ever since I've been here, we've always done way better, or done better than we thought we were going to do. We almost won my freshman year. We almost won a national title. We lost by 4 points.
Yeah.
We had a really good tournament there. So we've always been really good at peaking, and I think a lot of that is because we go so hard in the beginning, but then we start letting our bodies heal, and we still wrestle really hard, but it's not quite as long and grueling. Let's put it that way.
Nice. Hey, Tommy, the one thing I forgot to bring up, last thing I have in my notes, unless you want to give any more opinions about the subject, is scheduling. Iowa wrestles a sissy schedule. So that could be another one that leads them to get higher rankings initially, and then obviously when they have those higher rankings that they maybe don't deserve, then that's why they can drop. Alex, if you weren't on the beginning of the conversation, Iowa has by far the worst placement against seed ratio of any of the teams that I looked at. So we're kind of trying to come up with reasons why that is. And one of the ones we both agreed on was too much reliance on their shape being good early in the season. But I think the tournament and the scheduling, I think that's a big part of it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we had a really tough schedule, and we actually wrestled, I think, four of the top 5 teams in duels. So I don't think any other team has done that besides us. So, but I think it's the scheduling is big on what's it called, seedings and stuff like that, and I think that's huge.
Yeah,
and that's one reason why our coach does that.
Then I'll agree that the technical, or I'm sorry, the being in shape in the beginning of the year and relying on it and stuff could cost Iowa guys at the end of the year inadvertently. But you can't say Iowa has a weak schedule.
What?
when
Are you freaking
when
kidding
everybody
me?
who wrestles them, anybody who wrestles Iowa, you say, do you have a tough schedule? They'd say, well, we have Iowa.
Oh God, I'm bringing it up.
Listen, okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal. They wrestle Oklahoma State every year. They wrestle in the
Okay.
Big Ten every year. They wrestle in the Midlands.
Midlands
every
is
year.
sorry, Tommy.
It is now.
The Midlands
but-
is sorry.
It's not sorry. They
is
wrestle.
sorry.
They wrestle a pretty good schedule.
The Scuffle's the toughest one now I think by a
I would say the
long
Scuffle,
shot.
then Vegas, then Midlands.
Okay, so let's go. Here's their non-conference schedule. So they did Oklahoma State. I'll give them that one. Maryland. Well, that's a week.
That's the Big Ten, brother.
They're weak. It might as well be not Big Ten. Grand
Yeah, but
Canyon, Iowa Central, Cornell, South
dates
Dakota
away.
State. I mean, those teams are tough. I'll tell you who they didn't schedule. Montana State Northern. Come on, bro. Well, they didn't schedule Missouri.
They have a pretty decent schedule. I'm not saying it's the toughest in the world. They have a pretty decent schedule.
Okay.
They wrestle in the Big Ten, brother.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, the thing is that there's more Big Ten teams getting added. They're forced to wrestle Big Ten teams that aren't as competitive, taking away dates from them to schedule other guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised they wrestled Penn State.
Yeah, they didn't wrestle Penn State this year, Tommy.
They don't. The coaches have no control over that.
Yeah, they did it last year, remember? Last year
think
they
they-
scheduled a non-conference against Penn State.
Yeah, that is true.
That's true. Okay, let's get into Alex real quick. Because Alex, I asked Jordan Burroughs this question last week. We had him on the podcast. And I'm going to ask you, but I actually know you from a lot farther back than I know Jordan Burroughs. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, when you were about 14, a guy we both know, friend of both of ours, named Chris Borchard,
Yeah.
said everyone's high on this Jesse Thielke kid, but Alex Dieringer's going to be the guy. That's what he told me. And so
That's what he said?
I swear to God, yeah, I swear. So I've been following you since I want to say I want to say you were 13. You weren't a cadet at this point. You were 13, 14 maybe. And this progression, right? And Burroughs has had the same. Burroughs has gotten better every year. And I feel like I've watched you do the same thing from 8th grade to 9th grade all the way up. You've just gotten better and better and better and better. What is it? What is it that is helping you make these jumps year to year?
I think just the hatred of losing. I'm very, very competitive, and I think just that hatred for losing is a big thing for me. I'm a kind of a sore loser. I hate losing so much to the point where I make sure that doesn't happen. And when I go out there and wrestle, I don't look to just win a match. I go out there I go for pins. And by going for pins, you're going to get bonus points. Whether it's maybe you might not get a pin, but I'm going to get a major. Even when I was growing up, if I only won by 2 points, I'd be very, very mad with myself. So I think it's all that hatred for not scoring bonus points for the team or myself. I like to go out there and wrestle good, and if I don't, I'm not pleased with myself. And I think that's a big thing that helped me get those jumps.
Nice. So, we got something, Tommy?
Yeah, Alex, I got a question for you. Did you get fourth your freshman year?
I got third. I lost
Third.
for double overtime in the semis to St. John.
Oh,
There you go.
Derek
Jeez.
St. John.
I had the takedown too. I had it. I slipped. I had a post double on him, and we were so
Speaking of
slippery.
hating to lose.
I thought I had him there. He got his hips back up, and I just lost my grip.
Dang.
Sounds like you've
Yeah,
replayed the
it was
match
close.
a little bit in your head before.
Yeah, I think about it all the time.
Wait, so I
That's the difference in me getting 4 titles. So
I was thinking when he was telling that, Tommy and I have both told pretty good practice room meltdown stories, and with your competitiveness, I got to assume at some point in the Oklahoma State room, you've had to have a meltdown. You got any good meltdowns for us?
yeah, I've always had great partners. So it's. Ever since I've been a freshman, like I'd say halfway through my freshman year, I didn't really get many takedowns at all, and then all of a sudden I hit this breakthrough where I just started beating everybody. It was crazy how big of a jump I
That
made
was
in
the
a short time.
question that Ben interrupted. So that was the question I had. So in your redshirt year, you showed up, you were getting beat on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think happened? What switch went off in your head that all of a sudden you started taking everybody down?
Just like I said, that hatred for just getting beat every day. You just eventually just get that mental aspect to where you're like, no, I can't let this happen anymore. And I think that's the biggest thing that helped me. And obviously going to every practice with the same mindset. You have one back practice, you just gotta throw that away and have a positive mindset the whole time. And that's the big thing, is having that positive mindset. Otherwise, your mind will eat at you.
Who was the one guy? Tommy, I never asked you this question, and you can answer after Alex if you want to. Who was the one guy when you were a redshirt freshman, when you went in, you're like, just look at him, you go, I'm not losing to him today, that son of a gun. I mean, we all had that guy, right, that we didn't want to lose to. You had one of those guys? Are you free to say it on the radio or no?
Yeah, obviously Albert White was at my weight at the time.
Okay.
And
I remember him.
I'd say he was probably the biggest guy. But there was this one guy. His name was Swan. His last name was Swan.
I think I remember him.
Yeah, well, he was a freak. If he would have panned out, he didn't quit school and stuff like that. He would have been great. Because he literally whooped my butt so bad. And I think he was another guy that I really wanted to beat, but he was gone before I had a chance to even start beating him. So.
Damn.
But, I'd say Albert White and probably him.
Huh. Tommy, you ever have a guy like that?
So, yeah, I got a couple guys like that, but I'll kind of tie in with something that really snapped me you guys know Mitch Clark, right? He's an NCAA champ, incredible on top. So I'm an Ohio kid. I showed up, and bottom was my biggest weakness, and Mitch Clark. So when I showed up, we were the same weight and same height, and I did great with him on my feet. I mean, we'd go takedown for takedown, and he's a national champ, and I'm a freshman. I'm like, I can do this, and then he'd get on top of me, and he would score 15 points on me within 90 seconds. And every day I'd walk in the room, I'm like, I got to get out from this guy. I'm getting out from this guy. I'm getting out from this guy. And finally figured out how to get out from him, at least, more often.
Come on, man.
It
took Mitch Clark?
It took a long time, and it took me a couple hundred tries, but yeah. So that was the thing for me. Is every day I'd walk in there, and anytime he got on top of me, it was just like I was like a man possessed, and that's one of the things that stuck out for me from my freshman year.
Nice, cool. So Alex, the other thing, obviously, that's on your plate this year, as well as you guys are in the team chase. You're number one in the rankings. But a Hodge Trophy, how important is that to you? How much do you think about it? Do you not think about it? Where's that on your radar?
I mean, that's like the top goal in college wrestling. You win a Hodge Trophy, you obviously won the national title, and it's being the most dominant throughout the season. So, I won it really bad last year, but they gave it to Logan Stever. And, to go out with a Hodge Trophy in Madison Square Gardens and all that kind of stuff, it put the icing on the cake, and I think that would be an awesome feeling. I got 3 matches without bonus points. I think I'm like third on to the most dominant right now.
Yeah.
You have
overall.
3 without bonus points, huh?
Yeah, just 3.
That's pretty
Last year I had 6 or 7. So I'm on the right track. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, and just get pins and bonus points.
Nice. Yeah. So have you been watching Nolf and Rutherford at all? Because besides those two, I think Wisdowski. Those are your real 3 you're not in the same weight class, but that's who you're competing against for the Hodge. Have you been watching those guys at all, or no?
Yeah, and then you got to think he's got to beat, and also got to beat Isaiah again. He's got to beat JoJo again.
Twice.
He's got a tough road, and then obviously you got Rutherford. He's killing it too. But anyone can get beat. Gostkowski has Snyder, so it's gonna be a fun tournament, and I'm excited to see how it all pans out.
Wait, Gwizdowski versus Snyder's in that's a couple weeks. Kuhn versus Snyder's this weekend.
That's right.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. Nice.
That'd be a good one.
Are you going to that, Tommy?
No, I got to go to Florida for a trade show.
Oh God, you're so lame.
I am. It's very late. I'm missing a lot of good stuff this weekend.
And Alex, you're headed to Kansas City, the Big 12s, which are going to be covered live on Flow, which means I'll probably be watching a decent portion of them. And Oklahoma State is favored. This is the first year that the Western Wrestling Conference is included in the Big 12. Who's your toughest competition in there? I'm not even.
I think Glass and Weatherman, which I both wrestled with.
You're gonna smash.
And I think there's some other schools that I really know. I don't even know all the schools that are going. So, but I just know that those are the 2 top guys in my bracket. So, but I'm excited for it. Gonna wrestle for a great time.
Okay.
Alex, question for you. So, assuming you accomplish your goals this year and you hang up the title like you want to, and maybe you get the Hodge Trophy, maybe you don't, who knows. What are your plans? You're going to wrestle internationally? You're going to pursue the Olympic dream pretty heavily?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a lot with that. I'll be going to 16, 20 at least, and then see how my body's doing then, and maybe go further. We'll see. But, yeah, I'll be at OSU training for a few years.
You're coming to Ohio State?
No. I'm staying at Oklahoma State. I'll be training. And just getting as fit as I can with Coach Smith. You can't get much better of a coach than that, with obviously like Guerrero and Espo too. So it's, I have no reason to believe right now, and I'm excited to see what happens.
So are you planning to coach as well when you stick around at Oklahoma State, or just train yourself?
I'll be a grad assistant right away, and then if they give me a coaching job, then I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
No mixed martial arts in your future?
I don't think so. I think I'm just going to stick to wrestling.
Okay, fair enough.
Get back to the sport I love,
Of course. All right, let's. We won't have you on too much longer. Let's get one really good John Smith story. Oh shit! Did we lose him?
Looks like we did, brother.
I want a John Smith story. Daniel gave us a pretty good one.
If Alex
calls back. Hey, to fill the void here. Well, Alex is gone, Tommy. I just want to let you know, I know how to pick winners here. Donald Trump's out there smashing people on Super Tuesday.
He is. He's doing well. I don't even have enough time to talk about all this, but what he says, sometimes he makes a lot of sense, sometimes he doesn't, Ben.
Of course, naturally.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
How many episodes ago, though, did I call him whooping everyone's butt?
You called it a while ago.
A long time ago. Okay, Alex is calling back in.
Okay.
We don't talk about Trump anymore. All right, Alex, you're back.
I'm back.
Okay. So before we get off the phone with you, Daniel gave us a good one when we had Daniel Cormier on a few. Let's get one good John Smith story.
There's just so many. I don't even know where to start.
I mean, you don't have to incriminate him or anything, but one really good one would be nice.
Well, one thing that I really liked one thing he said to me, right, when Olympic wrestling was on the chop block, and seeing if it was into the 2016 Olympics, he ended up telling me one time, right as it was happening, he's like, "You're going to be on the 2020 Olympic team," and that's a fact. And ever since then, I really, really think about that all the time, and I think that's going to help me a lot in the end. But you talking funny stories, or? I
mean, that's a pretty damn good story right there. Especially,
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, funny stories. I love funny stories.
Yeah,
I remember. You want
to
hear mine, Alex, about John Smith?
Yeah,
this might be off limits, Tommy. I never told this story publicly. But
it's not about Johnny Hendricks being his long lost son, is it?
Oh, that's a good one. I should have told Alex that one too. I got this one story, Alex. I tell where John Smith's in a pool hall in 1984, and he's playing pool, and this lady says, "John Smith, if I make this 8-ball, you're going to have me a baby." And now it's Johnny Hendricks. Okay. But the funny story I got is. So back before this automatic qualifier system, right? Alex, you're young, so you don't know about this. Back in the day, it was the top 3 at the Big 12s went to nationals, and then there was like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 other spots, right?
Yeah.
And so the coaches, after the tournament was over, the coaches went to this room, and they didn't leave the room until it was over, right? So they all had to argue for their guys. Why their guys should get in. And it wasn't like per weight, right? It was just they had 7 spots for the other 20 guys or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And one year this guy named B.J. Wright, he was so tough. Tommy, I'm telling you, the Big 12 was the toughest back in the day. B.J. Wright was number 9 in the country. Ranked
5th in the Big 12.
And he got knocked. I can't remember who was fourth or fifth. Anyways, Mark Manning was so pissed that his guy wasn't going. He said, "My guy's not going. My guy's not going." And then John Smith said, "Mark, you better knock that off right now." And then Mark shut up, and then it was over. Now, some might got lost in translation, but that was the version I was told.
Yeah, he's a pretty scary dude.
That's great.
Okay. Well, Alex, you got anything else for us?
No, I'm just excited for the last couple weeks of the season.
Okay, cool. Well, everyone can tune in and watch you this weekend. It's live on Flow's Big 12 Championships in Kansas City, which is one of my favorite cities. So hopefully everyone tunes in and watches you.
That'd be sweet.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
Good luck, Alex.
Yeah, no
Thanks
problem.
a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Bye-bye.
All right, Tommy. So Trump's
He's
smashing, and then
He's a stud, man.
He's good, huh?
Yeah. I wanted to get into the technique. He's got that freaking left leg lead. I'm so jealous of everybody with that does everything with the lefty.
Really?
Yeah, man. He's got a lefty high crotch and a lefty swing. So it's just unorthodox to wrestle people that do those basic fundamentals, but from the other side.
Huh.
You think about so Ben.
Okay.
And I believe this is true. You go watch a youth wrestling tournament, ages 6 through 12.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that 90% of the kids wrestling at a regular random youth wrestling tournament have a right leg lead. Okay?
Okay.
You watch the NCAA finals and the Olympics.
Sure.
50% of the guys have a left leg lead.
No way. Just stop.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
NCAA finals. 50%
NCAA
left leg
finals
lead.
this year, 50%.
You're crazy.
50% left leg lead.
Come on.
Just rattle off America's best wrestlers. They're either left leg leads or they lead with both.
Oh my gosh.
I'm serious, man. Bring it. You're gonna name America's best wrestlers ever.
Burroughs.
Half of them be left leg leads.
I don't know. So if you ask me a name, I don't know if they're right leg lead or left leg lead. I couldn't tell you.
Burroughs is right.
Okay, how about Stieber?
Dave Schultz
Stieber.
left. Stieber left.
No, he can shoot
Yes.
both ways. He's ambidextrous.
Stieber's
It
a
doesn't
left.
count.
Stieber is a left leg
No,
lead.
Stieber and Taylor shoot both ways, so it doesn't
Stieber's
count.
a left leg lead.
No,
Brent
doesn't
Metcalf's a
count.
left leg lead.
Doesn't count. They shoot both ways. They shoot to both sides. Stieber
Oh,
and Taylor
Stieber's
shoot
left.
to both
I'm
sides
on
of the body.
YouTube right now.
They shoot to both sides of the body.
Yep, I'm talking about what left. I didn't say which side of the body they shoot to. I shoot to both sides of the body. I'm
Well,
a righty.
you can't shoot with your back leg side on his head. No, head inside single. Head inside single, both sides. You have to have whichever side you're shooting to. That leg has to be in front.
It's
It has
whatever
to.
foot they line up on their color, dude.
What if they do that just to trick them, and then they switch?
Logan's a left leg lead, dude. Straight up.
You think
I've
that's
been
like
left
on
leg
people's
lead.
profiles?
I'm watching right
like,
now against Central Port on YouTube. Left
Well-
leg lead the whole time.
Logan Stieber is 5'8", 145 pounds, loves long walks on the beach, and he is a left leg lead.
I'm just telling you. Let's watch the NCAA finals, Ben. So you agree, though, at youth tournaments, 90% are right leg leads, right?
I mean, to be honest with you, I've never really thought about it that hard. I mean, I would venture to say yes, but I've never thought about it.
Yeah. Well, go watch a tournament, youth tournament, and then let's watch the NCAA finals, and you'll see an astounding
What's
difference.
Alex? What's
And then
Alex? Is Alex
left.
right or left?
He's a lefty.
What
Straight
about
up.
Ed Ruth?
Ed Ruth is, I think he's right.
Okay. How do you know this? Like, I've never just been like,
Well, first of all, Ben, the only thing I ever cared about when I scouted a guy is what's his lead leg.
Really? Why?
Because I like swing singles, and if he led with his left, I was happy.
Yeah, but you can shoot a swing single whether it's at the front or the back. You just got to have a better setup.
Yeah, it's a
You
little
got to
hard.
have a better setup.
So
learn
you
something.
never scouted a guy. That's all I ever cared about.
No.
What does he lead? What does he lead with? He leads with his left. Okay, thanks.
When I scout someone, I'll tell you, there's only two things. I'm not big into scouting. There's two things I want to know when I scout someone, right? So I want to know, do they have something that's super unorthodox that I need to watch out for, right? Do they have a great headlock? Do they have something weird, right, that I
Right.
wouldn't normally predict? Number two, I want to watch a match where they get their ass kicked because I want to know what their weakness is. And then I'm going to try to exploit it. And that's the only thing I watch when I'm saying I don't care what league they're, because I'm going to bring their left leg forward to my single leg. It's just going to have to be a little harder.
I know this, Ben. I know all the setups to get the back leg to
Are you sure?
Okay. What are you preaching right now? You educating me?
You only had 700 takedowns. If you learn how to pull the back leg forward, you have 900.
All I'm saying is here's the argument. Not even the argument. It's the statement. You go to a youth wrestling tournament. 80 to 90% of those kids have a right leg lead. You watch the NCAA finals, the percentage is significantly higher.
But do you think people change as they get older, or do you think the left leg leads are more successful?
The left leg lead is such a unique advantage that the higher level you go, it becomes a game of inches, and the left leg lead prevails in a way that is noticeable.
I'm not buying it at all. I don't buy it. We need to have one of these people do a study on this.
Brandon's brothers. Left leg lead.
Oh my God, Tommy! This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. I can't believe I'm having this conversation with you.
I'm telling you, man.
Are you a right leg lead or a left leg lead?
I'm a right leg lead, and I hate it.
And I'm a right leg lead too. So they're 2 for 2. There you go. What about John Smith?
John Smith was a righty. Daniel Cormier, left leg lead.
No, but Daniel doesn't really shoot, so it doesn't count.
Daniel Cormier was a left leg lead.
You know what's funny? I fight right-handed, so I can move with my left leg forward, so I can wrestle that way defensively, but offensively, I can't attack with that leg forward.
Interesting.
That's weird, right?
Let's go through the NCAA champs last year. Tomasello, left leg lead.
No, let's. How do you know he's a left leg lead?
Nathan Tomasello is a left leg lead. Dude, I watched. You know what? You're saying you can't believe you're having this conversation with me. I can't believe I'm having this conversation with you.
Who gives a damn what leg to lead? I'm going to take him down no matter what.
Whatever. All right, way off topic. Who won it at 33 last year?
Listen, we need to, Brewer, I need to do some research on this topic and come back to it next week, because I'm not prepared for this discussion. This is not on our itinerary. You're way off task.
I am. Okay, let's go.
I don't think it matters. Listen, when we do our Big Ten and MAC, we need to do our Big Ten and MAC pick'ems right now. That's what we need to do. Are you going to base your picks on whether they're right leg or left leg lead? Tommy's got his sheet down, and he's got the seeds, and then right next to him he has R or L for what leg lead they are. There's no way having a left leg lead is that large of a benefit. It's just impossible. Impossible.
Just do this for me, Ben. Go to a youth tournament. Everyone will have a right leg lead. Watch a big wrestling event. Watch the NCAA finals. You'll see it how common it is. And you tell me that that's not worth talking about?
I'm going to go watch a youth wrestling tournament this weekend, and I'm going to count 100 kids and which leg is on the line.
Please do that. And then we'll watch the NCAA finals together, and we can have a conversation.
But so what I'm asking, though, do you think some kids switch as they get older?
No.
Why not?
I don't think they switch. I think the left leg lead is that unique.
Oh, just stop! It's like it's not like Anthony Robles having one leg. It's the right leg or the left leg forward. It doesn't matter that much.
By the way, we were getting way off topic, but one thing I do want to talk about at some point in the offseason maybe is how some morons have an argument with me about how Anthony Robles was advantaged.
That is just freaking pissing me off. I coached
it snaps
there.
Me.
And I can't say I had much effect on Anthony Robles because I don't know how to coach someone with one leg. Anthony did it all himself, right? I mean, it was 100% him. But for God's sakes, an advantage? Are you insane?
Yeah, it blows my mind.
Seriously. I mean,
blows my mind. We'll talk about it sometime later.
Okay.
Pick'ems.
We should get Anthony on sometime. He's awesome.
It would be awesome.
Okay, let's go pick'ems. I'm gonna have to. So I have to type these down so I don't forget what we.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock too.
Okay, so you want to go Big Ten first or MAC first?
Let's go MAC.
Okay, so here we go. 125 pounds.
We can pick the same guys too.
Oh, of course. You have to be able to do that. Okay, hold on. Let me get my file. I have a Pick'ems file, Tommy. So at the end of the day, you can't be making up stuff.
Let me go first at 125.
Okay, so let's go. Let's flip the coin. You got odds. I got evens.
From the book of Ben Askren, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on how Dylan Peters doesn't have legitimate go-to attacks, and it will cost him at the end of the year. Therefore, I'm picking Barlow McGee.
Nice. And I'm picking Barlow because it's not an hour weigh-in. By the time he wrestles Dylan, it's going to be the end of the day.
There you go.
So I'm
So you
picking
writing that down?
Barlow, B and T. Both of us picked him. All right, 133. You got Mac McGuire, Zach Sinnen, Cameron Kelly. That's an Ohio boy there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who you got? Is Mac McGuire?
No, you go first. You're going first.
It's my pick. Well, I'm going to go Missouri, obviously. Even though Mac McGuire is seated above Sinnen, and Sinnen he's had some shaky matches lately. Well, who cares? It's Missouri.
I'm going to go with Sinnen on strength of schedule, in the sense that I don't know McGuire. I haven't watched him enough, so I'm taking Sinnen.
Ooh. Okay, 141.
McCarty.
You go McCarty?
I like how he wrestles.
Okay, so McCarty's. So this is probably the best weight in the map, because you got Manley, McCarty, Steve Bleed, Zach Horan, and Trevor Yauk, who's I mean, that's a really good top five. Well, what do you think? I'm going Missouri again. I got Manley. You got McCarty.
Manley's got a win over Mick Jordan. That's probably his signature win this year.
He beat McCarty also, and God, he had another big one. I can't remember who it was right now. But yeah, he's had a good year. All right, 149. We got Levon Mays number 1, Justin Oliver number 2, Alex Richardson number 3. It's another pretty solid. The MAC is not joking around this year. They got some really solid guys.
No.
And Mike DePalma number 4. I'm going Missouri. Missouri's going 10.
I'm taking Mays too. You're such a homer, by the way. You're not really.
Let's see if we can go all 10 for Missouri. Okay.
You can't take Missouri on this one.
Wow, this is a tough weight class too. Okay, we got Ian Miller, Luke Smith, Bryce Dyer, Spartak Chino, and Leroy Barnes. Barnes is on the outside looking in there, but
I'm going Miller.
You going Ian Miller?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I like Luke Smith. I'm going to go with the upset. Luke Smith, Miller. In Miller's one of the most exciting wrestlers in the NCAA, but he's not always the best decision maker, if you will, and he doesn't have the biggest gas tank.
Okay, well, I think you're wrong. How about that?
Fair enough. That's fair enough. And it's an Ohio boy. He's
right.
Oak Harbor, right?
Yep.
J.D. Bergman.
J.D. Bergman, Cody Magram.
Are they boys?
Frank Tank, Keith Witt, Zeb Miller's nephew.
I thought Ian Miller was Zeb Miller's nephew.
That's what he is. Zeb Miller's nephew.
Okay. My bad. I misinterpreted. All right. I think you got 2 picks at 165. You got Daniel Lewis or Cooper Moore.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lewis just because he rode out Dieringer and he rode out Bo Jordan, and I'm taking him because of that.
I almost had to give Dieringer shit about getting ridden out by a freshman. But, if I was a little closer with him, I would have brought it up. But I didn't want to piss him off or nothing. Okay, 174, you got Mike Ottinger, Blaze Butler, Cody Walters, and Trace Engelkiss. Another tough weight. I want to say Ottinger, Butler, and Walters are all top 10 guys.
Walters is an All-American, and he's an Ohio boy. He went to Jay Jaggers High School, St. Peter Chanel. I'm going with Walters.
Cody Walters from the 3 seed.
He's a stud. He's pretty good.
Was he really an All-American last year?
No, he's an All-American like 8 years ago. He's an All-American his freshman year. He's an All-American.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, you know who I'm going with. I'm going with Blaze Butler. Just for the record, that is 6 out of 7 weight classes I have now.
That'd be a good All-American for the ACC this year with our numbers.
The MAC.
No, the ACC, Blaze Butler.
Oh, because he's from Virginia?
Well, yeah.
Well, that happened. Missouri is so... Listen, I want to put just an open invite out there. Missouri is looking for a transfer heavyweight. Any of you heavyweights out there that want to fill a nice hole, that want to go challenge for a national title next year, Missouri is looking. Contact me. You got my email. I'll send you the right way, people. It's a great college, great wrestling team, great coaching staff, beautiful women. You're going to love Columbia, Missouri. I'm telling you that. That was like an advertisement right there.
There you go, baby.
Call me, heavyweights. Call me. Maybe. Okay. Seriously, heavyweights, call me. 184. I think we're going long today, Tommy, but you got Willie Miklas, former All-American Jack Deckow, Andrew Romanchik, and Jordan Ellingwood.
I'll go with Miklas. He tech fouled Kenny Courts.
quarts. That's not a donut. That's his
Oh,
hand.
jeez. I'll take Miklas.
I got Miklas also. 7 out of 8. Oh, and you know I'm picking Jaden Cox. I'm just gonna write you down.
It's
for Jaden.
Jaden.
For God's sakes,
It's Jaden.
I'm gonna send him your way.
Come on.
Sick him on
I'll take Jaden.
That might make you feel young again. If you beat him up, you're gonna be feeling real nice. And
I gotta go
strong
back
again.
in, wrestle Snyder, and redeem myself. Not by beating him, but just by being respectful.
Just do that Russian dump that they got.
Walk
on.
out of the mat with my dignity.
Just do the Russian dump. He'll fall for that. You want to know my trick, Tommy? What I do to all young people that are younger, so anyone younger than me that I wrestle with, because I know they're gonna get a little froggy, And so what I do is, while we're drilling, right, I just slowly crank up the pressure on. It's like when you're trying to cook. What do they say? It's when you're trying to cook a crab, right? If you put them in boiling water, they're gonna jump out, right? So you just slowly turn up the heat on them, and then they're being cooked before they realize it. So when I wrestle the young guys, I just slowly start putting more and more and more pressure on them, right? And then so by the time we're ready to go live, they're already feeling really tired. They don't have enough for me.
There you go.
That's what you need to do to Snyder. He won't realize it, and you're gonna guess.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't pick up on it at all.
Okay, maybe just get someone else to rotate it on him then.
There you go.
All right, heavyweight, not looking that tough in the MAC. Blaze Cabell, Gage Hutchinson, Jake Gunning.
I don't know any of these guys. I'll go with the top seed.
Cabell, okay. I'm gonna go with Newton Smirchek from number 4, and only because he's a Wisconsin boy.
All right,
That's
I'm gonna bother you so much on the Big Ten. I'm gonna just get big time homered. Big time homer.
You can't go with that many Ohio State guys. I went with 8 out of 10 Missouri guys. There's no way. It's impossible that you're going to pick.
I won't be able to do that.
Yeah, no way. Okay, so Big Ten, 125. We got, really, I think you got 3 choices.
You do.
I think you got Gilman. Hey, you know what I was thinking about earlier, Tommy? I was thinking about Trump's run right now is kind of like a Thomas Gilman match. And, where it's competitive in the beginning, and then as the match goes on, he starts to pull away a little more.
Gilman's loving you right now.
And so, I like Gilman. And so, you know what? You know what's about to start happening in this presidential race, if it's like a Thomas Gilman match, right?
What's that? Face smush?
Trump's about to start face smushing people. What if he went up and just pushed Marco Rubio in the back of the head or something? Face smushed him like Gilman. Could you imagine? You think Rubio would try to fight him, or what do you think he would do?
He'd just whine, get security to take him away or something.
Could you imagine those old people fighting? That would be freaking hilarious. I couldn't even imagine. All right, who you got at 25?
I'm taking Nathan Tomasello, man, defending national champ, undefeated.
All right, I am too. He's looking at beast this
year.
There you
go.
Yeah, I can pick a few Ohio State guys.
Right.
Honestly, I think Meg Lewis is going to take. I got a feeling he's going to take out Gilman in the semis. I got this feeling about it. I think Meg Lewis is going to take, and then he's going to fall to Tomasello in the finals.
Okay.
What do you think?
I could see that happen, and I actually think Gilman's on a roll. I think, and plus it's in Carver Hawkeye. You can't discount that with the crowd and everything, and the calls and all that stuff. So. Okay,
133. 133 is pretty interesting because you got Ryan Taylor down at 6, you got Johnny Julius down at 7, you got Rossi Bruno, who was an All-American last year, all the way down to number 8. Number 1, 2, and 3 are Richards and Clark, then Conway. So you could really go anywhere with this one.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you could. I don't. Okay, it's my pick first, right?
Yep.
Well. Yeah, I'm not going to be too excited. I'm just going to go with the number 1. I'm going to go with Zane.
I'm going with Ryan Taylor.
From the 6?
I'm going with Ryan Taylor from the 6. He's been having weight.
Wow.
He's been having weight issues.
He has?
He was yeah.
He was a 25 last year.
Yeah, he's having a hard time making 33. That's what I hear.
Wow.
I could be wrong. And I don't think it'll be an issue at the Big Ten championships. Yeah. And he's a Big Ten runner-up last year. Could have won the darn thing. So I'm going with Ryan Taylor. It's a wild pick, and I'm going with it.
Okay. 141, another fairly interesting weight because you got Gillibon all the way down at 8, and I don't say he wants to see Michael Jordan in trouble, but that was a competitive match. So you got Mike at 1, you got Tommy Thorne at 2, you got Astronaut at 3, Jamison Oster, Javier Gasca, Anthony Abbott, and Danny Savatello. So it's your pick. Have at
Mick Jordan,
of course, naturally. Okay, I'm gonna go with. I'm actually gonna go with Anthony Ashnell. I think he's.
That's a good pick.
He's been having.
That would have been my second pick.
But he kind of came on at the end of last year, so
I like him a lot. He's tough.
I don't hope he does the same thing. All right, 149, another good weight class. You got the Zane Train, you got Sorensen, Jake Soufflone, and you got the national champ Jason Surtis all the way down at number 4.
Well, you got Pantaleo, I think he's ranked in the top. I want to say he's top 10.
I want to say he was the 6th seed at nationals last year.
Yeah, the Big Ten's so bad, isn't it, Ben? Just a terrible conference.
Oh wow! Okay, but wait till we get to this next weight.
Oh yeah, Dolphin Martinez is terrible.
Once you get past that, though, 65.
All right, I'll take Zane at 49.
Damn. I think I got to pick him too.
Yeah, of course.
We have 2. This is rare because my high school doesn't pump out D1 guys. We have 2 Arrowhead High School alumni in this weight class. Jake Soufflone at 3 and 49. Jake Soufflone and Andrew Crone, 3 and the 7.
Did your high school got a big time tradition?
Nah, we were good for a handful of years, but not huge. Nothing like a St. Paris Graham or anything.
Right.
So yeah, we got some good guys coming out. So shoot, I want to pick Soufflone because that's my guy, but Rutherford kind of kicked his butt.
How can you pick against Rutherford, man?
All right, I'm going with Soufflone. I don't care. Sometimes I pick with my heart too much.
Obviously,
not my mind enough. Okay,
157. I got Aymar.
Damn it, Tommy.
I'm not doing any suspense though for our viewers. You got Nolf and Martinez. You can't take.
That's all you got. That's all you got.
I'm taking Aymar.
Nolf or Aymar? I think I'm cheering for Aymar too. Am I picking with the heart again, or am I picking with my head? I can't tell.
You can pick with both on this one.
Okay, I'm going Aymar. I think he better got his crap together by now. If you don't beat him this time, he ain't beat him in nationals. I'm telling you that.
Yep.
Okay. All right, 165. It's my pick first. You got Isaac Jordan, Bo Jordan, Steven Rodriguez, Anthony Perotti. Whew. You know what? I'm going to go with Steven Rodriguez because he was one of my brother's original students at his gym in New York. Wow. Yeah. And he bumped all the way up from 141 last year. It's pretty freaking wild, right? Yeah,
he's good. He's good. I'm taking Bojo.
Well, I know
for good reason.
You're not picking Isaac after the duel?
No, I think Bo's ready. I think he had a hard time coming to terms with wrestling against family, and I don't think Isaac had nearly as much of a problem. And
so those two are they close? They don't like each other.
They're close. I just think Isaac does a better job at blocking all the head trash out than Bo does. But I think it's the third time around. I think Bo's kind of got it figured out mentally. I think he's a better wrestler. I think Isaac's great. I just think Bo's a better wrestler, and I'm going to go with Bo.
Had they wrestled prior to college ever?
Oh, they train together every year. I mean, they train together.
No, not train, compete.
No, they had not.
Never.
Not
even like Pee-wees or something.
I don't know that. I don't think they did, but I can't speak for the youth.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, 174. Bo Nickel, Alex Meyer, Zach Brunson, Miles Martin, Nathan Jackson. Another one, interesting one, because you got Nathan Jackson all the way down number 5 is Bo Nickel's only loss this year. Is it my pick? It's your pick. I picked Steven Rodriguez first last time.
Oh, man. I think I'm going to pick with my heart here.
Miles Martin.
Picking Miles Martin. He's got a win over Nate Jackson. I think 2 wins over Nate Jackson.
Yeah, I believe so.
He's got 2 nail-biter losses to Bo Nickel. I'm picking with my heart. I'm going Miles Martin for the Big Ten title.
All right, I got Bo Nickel because he's hot.
He is hot, man. He's wrestling good.
All right, this is one of those not so great weight classes I was talking about, and you'll say I'm wrong, but for a Big Ten weight class, after the first four, I think it drops off drastically. And I know you'll argue that Courts was a previous All-American, but he hasn't been that good this year.
He's a previous All-American.
Is he even an automatic qualifier this year?
I don't know.
It's borderline. Okay, you got Dominic Abinader, Ohio boy.
Big Ten champ, All-American from St. Ed's.
Matt McCutcheon, Sam Brooks, and TJ Dudley from Nebraska.
I'll go Abinader.
Okay. I'm actually going to go TJ Dudley.
There you go. He's pretty good.
He's good. He does stupid things, but I'm going to hope
he did pretty good with David Taylor at the Midlands.
Yeah, but he did terrible against Matt McCutcheon. I mean, like, he literally found a way to lose against Matt McCutcheon in the dual meet. So, kind of pains me to pick him, but I think I could definitely see him winning because I think skill for skill he's better than any guys in this bracket. Just is he going to do something stupid or is he going to be on point? All right, hold on. I picked Dudley. You picked Abinader. All right, 2 weights left. Then we got to go because this might be we're setting records. This is our longest show ever.
Yep.
We did get to talk about Trump winning though. Face motion coming on by the end of March. Okay, 197, Morgan McIntosh, Brett Favre, Nathan Burek, Max Huntley. What do you got?
I'm going McIntosh.
I'll go for the upset. I'll go with Favre. Favre's an interesting case because he's been...
Brett Favre?
I wish. You could only wish.
What if he wrestled for Wisconsin? How awesome would that be?
Oh, that would have been... People would have loved him.
Well, he does wrestle for Minnesota, and Brett Favre did play for them.
He's not as loved in Minnesota as he is in Wisconsin. Favre has been a lot better though at 97 this year than he was at 84, and it's weird when you see kids make that jump.
I think the reason I'm picking McIntosh is that he's a superior athlete to Favre and Burek should he get to the finals with them, and I think those guys can make him hustle, but I think he'll pull those takedowns in at the end. Yeah,
and that's kind of I think Burek's gonna make Favre work, but I just don't see him having what it takes to beat him. Just don't see it. Okay, 85, 285. Most anticipated matchup, probably of the entire weekend. Well, I take that back. Noel Feinmar is probably number 1. This could be number 2, though. It's going to be Cooner Snyder. And I know who you're taking.
You know who I'm taking. I know who you're taking.
No, I'm taking him, too.
I know that.
Oh, you knew that?
Yeah, heck yes, I did.
I thought you thought I was picking Kuhn, didn't you?
The deal is, I'm picking Snyder, but I've got to give Adam Kuhn some credit. I love watching him wrestle because he is a true big man. I wouldn't say Kyle Snyder is a true big man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Gwiz is a true big man.
Yeah.
I wasn't a true big man in the sense of the word, but Adam Kuhn is, and he wrestles hard. He's offensive. He pushes the action. I really like watching this guy wrestle a lot. A lot of respect for him. The problem is, I think his greatest downfall against Snyder is also the reason he's so good, is he actually does wrestle, and he just doesn't wrestle as good as Snyder, in my opinion. So I feel like he's going to react and wrestle in these sequences and these actions that Snyder creates, where the best thing he could do, because he's a 6'5", 300-pound man, is stand there and underhook him, and I don't think he'll do it. So I think Snyder will win because of that.
All right. We're already Tommy, we set records. This is huge. We set records. We're at an hour and 18 minutes. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge.
All 10 feet taller.
Okay. I think we call it a night. What do you say?
Yeah, man. Sounds good.
All right. Have a good night, Tommy.
Yeah.
You are listening to the T. Rowe and Funky Show, and it is brought to you by Defense Soap. Defend what you've built. Tommy, I gotta say, I tried these products. He shipped me a box. I love them. I've had, if you know me, you know I've had ringworm issues for a long time. So I'm looking forward to putting these in my repertoire and hoping the ringworm does not come back ever.
No doubt, Ben. And to top that off, the company was created by wrestlers. Guy Seiko wrestled at Cleveland State University. His son was an All-American in Virginia. So these people really get it. They know what the wrestling community needs. You're listening to the T-Row and Funky Show, brought to you by All Force Nutrition. Ben, I don't know a whole lot about the founders here, but I gather it's a wrestling family wrestling company up in the North Country where you're at. Tell us a little bit about All Force Nutrition.
Tommy, All Force Nutrition was started by the Zilverberg brothers out of Minnesota. They are wrestling people, and they made these supplements for wrestlers. They graduated with degrees from the University of Minnesota, and this was kind of their dream to put together some very healthy and good tasting. I've had some myself lately. Supplements for wrestlers to use that fits their needs, and these products are great. I'm using them myself right now. Check out allforcenutrition.com. Made for wrestlers, by wrestlers. Go ahead and support them.